this thing, the camera. Okay, that's a good start. Okay, coming to seated, any comfortable position. Let's just find some movement here. So arms coming out towards the side, palms facing up. On your inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down. And on your exhale, hands come down to heart center. Clasping your hands, rounding your spine, allowing your hands to reach away. Straightening your back here. And then we're going to do kind of like a little tip. I don't even know how to explain it. So right shoulder is going to come up, left shoulder is going to drop down. And feel a little bit of a stretch here along the right side of your body. Inhale, coming back to center. And exhale over to the other side. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, releasing your arms down by your sides. Okay, so we're going to come into Taylor pendulum swing here. Right hand to the earth, a left palm turns up. On your inhale, reaching your arm up and over. And on your exhale, see if maybe you can fold over a little more, maybe walking the hands away a little further. Keeping both hips on the earth. So we're going to find a little bit of movement to come over to the other side. So instead of coming right up to seated, you're going to kind of tip forward, bring that left hand down towards the earth, circling the arms around, coming over to the other side. Right shoulder rolls back and down the spine. Let's do that one more time. We're going to trace the right hand along the front of the mat. Left arm reaches up and over. And last time here. Left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and over. All right, inhale, coming back to center. Let's come to tabletop pose. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit with a gate latch pose today. So right foot's going to come out towards the side. If it's comfortable for you, foot comes to the earth, leg is straight. Foot is in line with the short edge of the mat. If that's not comfortable for you, foot is on the earth, knee is bent. Okay, so let's just find a few cat-cows here. Round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and then moving in the opposite direction. Just moving with your own breath, seeing where it's more comfortable to inhale and where it's more comfortable to exhale. Okay, so we're going to come on up onto the left knee, hands come up. Gate latch, right hand comes to your right hip. Left arm reaches up and over. So only go as far as you feel comfortable. If you wish, maybe that right hand walks its way down a little further, down the leg, just not on the knee. If it's in your body, maybe hand comes to the earth. Okay, inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and over. Roll the right shoulder back and down the spine. Find length here. Okay, inhale, using your core, coming back up to center. We're going to find a little bit of a challenge here. So clasping your hands behind your low back, shoulders roll back and down your spine. If this is not comfortable, feel free to bring your hands to your hips instead. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, you're going to fold forward. Head comes down towards the earth. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine, come on back up. And then releasing your hands to the earth, we'll come over to the other side. Left foot out towards the side. Find a few rounds of cat-cow here. Okay, walking the hands towards the right knee, come on up. A left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and over to the earth. Nope, to your leg, not to the earth, sorry. To the earth if you can reach, but. Beautiful, inhale up to center, exhale, right hand to the floor, left arm reaches up and over. Roll the left shoulder back and down the spine. Really see if you can find length here from the pinky toe edge of the left foot all the way to the fingertips of the left hand. All right, windmilling your arms back up. Hands clasped behind you. Do the opposite clasp from what you normally would do. Shoulders roll back and down. Hinging from the hips, you're going to send the hips back. Head comes down towards the floor. Okay, lengthening your spine. Use your core to help you come back up. We're going to come into a tabletop pose. Okay, and then let's come all the way down onto the earth, onto the front body. So we're going to find a little bit of back bends here. So hands come underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet are on the earth. We'll start with baby cobra. Shoulders roll back and down the spine, tuck the elbows in, lift the heart, and look down at the earth. One more round of breath here. And then lowering. If at any point during this back bending, if you have discomfort in your low back, feel free to take a break, bending your knees and windshield wipering your feet from side to side. Okay, if you're ready, we're going to come into a little more of a back bend. So hands come more by the chest, shoulders roll back and down the spine, tuck the elbows, tops of the feet into the earth. So maybe you just lift your heart, or perhaps you come into a cobra pose. Tuck the elbows in by your sides. Drop the shoulders away from your ears. Find your breath. And then notice if there's discomfort in your low back. Sometimes it helps to change the position of the feet. Sometimes it's better for feet to be wide. Some people prefer big toes together, heels apart. Maybe feet are hip distance apart. We're going to take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then exhale. Keep the elbows bent by your sides, gently and slowly lower to the earth. Bending the knees, windshield wipering the feet from side to side. So from here, let's make our way into a tabletop and then into kneeling. So in our kneeling pose, if you wish, you can place a blanket underneath your knees for protection if it feels uncomfortable. And in this pose, we're going to, if you have blocks or pillows or anything and you wish to use them, you can certainly use them. So it's our reclined hero pose. We've done this a couple times. We're going to do it with big toes together, knees apart. Okay. So just to begin, if you need to place a blanket or pillow underneath your sits bones to sit on, feel free to do so. We're just going to sit here for a few rounds of breath. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. And then when you're ready, hands come behind you. Find length in your spine. Okay, so it's up to you. If you are on a block, you may just walk your hands back a little further if you wish for a little more of a stretch. If you're without a block, maybe you gently move your feet apart so that your hips come down towards the earth, if they make it. And then perhaps you start to slowly come back, coming onto your forearms. So be very gentle with your body here. We don't want any sensation of burning or any pain. And take your breath, take deep inhales, long, slow exhales. Notice the thought patterns that arise here. Are you eager to rush into maybe the next movement of our practice or into a part of this pose? Can you be patient here in this pose with yourself and with everyone around you? By extension, I guess, right? All right, 2 more rounds of breath. This is where we want to be very mindful, is during our transitions, very slowly coming out. Slowly coming up onto your hands. We're going to come back into a tabletop. And then we're going to make our way all the way down to the earth. So from here, we're going to roll over onto the left side. So I haven't done this with any of you. So this will be interesting. Roll to the left side, Vishnu pose. So legs are long, if you can have them long. You're going to place your hand underneath your head to support you. All right, so a hand comes on top of your waist here. And notice if maybe it's difficult to balance a little bit on this left hip. It may not be. Try and stack the legs if you can. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bring that right leg up towards the sky. All right, find your balance. This right hand is going to come either to the back of the thigh. Maybe it comes up towards the shin. Activate the right foot, curl back the toes, find your balance. Whew. Or maybe you reach for your toes. So it's funny how easy it looks, just lying on the side. But when you have very few points of contact here on the earth, it makes it a little more challenging. Okay, so notice if you need to maybe pull the leg a little bit more towards you. Slight bend in that right knee, just a micro bend. If this becomes too much, feel free to bend that bottom leg so the foot comes behind you for a little more balance. Although I don't know, I don't find more balance. 2 more rounds of breath. And then gently releasing that top foot to the earth, or to the other foot, sorry. And then from here, we're going to bend both knees, send the feet back behind you. If you're able to, activate the right foot and grab a hold of the right foot or ankle. And you're just going to gently pull, keeping the right foot active, and a little stretch here, the front of that right thigh. Send the knee towards the back of the mat. If you're not able to reach, maybe just bending your knees, take a few rounds of breath here. Maybe you come back to that Vishnu, lying legs out straight, practicing some balance. Two more rounds of breath. And then releasing your foot here. And we'll come over onto the front body. So a little bit on the front body before we come to the other side. We'll find another back bend here. So maybe it's baby cobra or full cobra, or perhaps if you wish, hands can come out to the side. We want to bring the wrists underneath the elbows. You're creating like, I don't know what these are. Spider arms? I have no idea. Okay, shoulders roll back and down the spine, tops of the feet push into the earth, lift the hips. So you're tenting your fingers here on the earth. Lift the hips, lift the shoulders. All right, I'm going to tell you all something. So not only am I having a lot of technology problems today, like my camera wasn't working at first, I had to stop drinking coffee for health reasons just for a little while. So my brain is not working. 2 more rounds of breath. And then exhale to lower. We'll keep the hands out here towards the sides. And if you wish, you're going to turn, allow the left shoulder to dip down towards the center. Look over to your right shoulder, your right arm. Or maybe you're in another back bend that feels comfortable for you. Inhale, let's come back to center. Exhale, right shoulder dips down towards the earth, looked over the left. Inhaling back to center and exhaling to release your arms to the earth. So we're going to flip over to the other side. You're going to come onto your right side into Vishnu on this side. So legs are straight. Okay. And then if you can, hand to your hip. So perhaps you stay here. Or maybe that left leg comes up off the earth or off the other foot. Find your balance. Perhaps you grab a hold of the back of the left leg somewhere, or maybe towards the toes. Slight micro bend here in the left knee. Find your balance, straighten the bottom leg. If you tip over, it's okay. If you tip over, how do you react? That reaction seeps into the rest of our lives. Ooh. Releasing that top leg. And then we're going to bend the knees once again, send the feet back. Activating the left foot. See if maybe you can grab a hold of the left ankle. And see if you can really send that knee straight towards the back of the mat. All right, let's find 2 more rounds of breath. Then releasing here. Make your way over onto your front body. Coming into tabletop. Curling your toes under, downward dog. So shoulders roll back and down your spine. Inside of the elbows are looking at each other. As much of a bend in your knees as you need. So if you wish, you can find movement here by pedaling out your feet, or maybe you just kind of sink and settle into this pose. Okay, so we're going to shift our weight forward, come into tabletop. And we're going to set up for dolphin. So in dolphin, forearms come to the earth, elbows are underneath the shoulders. We still want to roll the shoulders back and down the spine. All right, curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you like you do in downward dog. So depending on your body, maybe you're looking between your arms. If there's space, maybe your head dangles. Push your upper body away from the earth. If you need to take a break, feel free to come down onto your knees. We're going to be holding here for a little bit, so a little bit of strength in the upper body. Continue pushing away from the earth. If you wish, maybe you can walk the feet in a little bit closer. All right, 2 more rounds of breath. And then I invite you to try, if it doesn't work, it's okay, come to table. Try and come back into a plank. Walk your feet back, keep the shoulders underneath you. If you wish, knees can come to the earth. And releasing down, hips to the earth. Whew. Let's bring the arms behind us. We're going to come into a locust pose. Feet come down towards the earth. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. And you stop whenever you feel like it's as far as you need to go. So first, lifting the shoulders, lifting the head. Then lifting the arms, shoulders roll back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. If you wish, lift the feet, point the toes, squeeze the inner thighs. And hold. How are you showing up in this pose? Is this how you would like to show up in your life? If you wish, maybe arms reach forward. Arms come by your ears. Two more rounds of breath. And then gently lowering, maybe using your hands as a pillow, bending your knees, windshield wipering your feet from side to side. All right, let's make our way into a tabletop pose. And then finding some organic movement here that feels good for you. Whatever will help your low body, your low back feel good. So maybe it's C shapes, cat cows, in and out of child's pose. Okay, let's make our way into a child's pose. Big toes together, maybe knees apart, sitting the hips back. Arms come long. Soften and settle here. All right, so from here, I invite you to once again tent your fingers on the earth. Okay, arms still reach long, and then settling your head back down. Settle the chest. Softening the hands. Then let's make our way back into a tabletop pose. So we're going to come into variations of a dragon pose. Let's start here with the right foot coming forward to the outside of the right hand, however you need to get it there. Okay, we're going to turn the toes of the right foot out towards the side. If you need blocks underneath you, feel free to grab blocks. So perhaps you stay here, or maybe you walk your hands over towards the left corner of the mat. So go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe forearms even come down towards the earth. Keep the right foot active. Sink and settle here. And then if it feels like you've gone too far, you can back out. Wherever you are, soften your shoulders. Two more rounds of breath here. Then walking your hands back to center. Yeah, we're gonna heel toe that right foot over so that it's kind of like if we were hip distance apart, okay? So from here, you can keep the back knee down or perhaps lift the back knee, squeeze the inner thighs. We're going to reach the arms forward, draw the navel in towards your spine and try not to collapse in on that front leg. So you're going to use your core to hold you up here. If the back knee is up off the earth, check to make sure your front knee is over your ankle in line with your second or third toe. Two more rounds of breath. Okay, then we're going to bring the hands back down towards the earth. Drop the back knee if it's up. Walk that right foot over towards the right side once again. Actually, we'll just switch. So we'll come over into tabletop. And then left foot comes to the outside of the left hand. Activating that foot, turning the toes out towards the left side. Walking the arms towards the top right corner of the mat. So see if you can kind of relax the upper body, even though it's kind of holding you up. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Two more rounds of breath. Then slowly walking your hands back towards center. We're going to walk that left foot in between the hands. Knee can stay down or come up. Squeeze the inner thighs, bring the core up off your leg. Lengthen the spine, arms reach forward. Find your breath. Deep inhales, long, slow exhales. All right, two more rounds of breath. Hands come to the earth, knee to the earth. Let's come back into our tabletop pose and into child's pose. Finding two more rounds of breath here. And then coming out of child's pose and into seated. Okay. So in our seated pose, we're going to do a little bit of hip work here. If you need to, when you are seated, if your legs don't come, knees don't come all the way to the earth, or it's not that they come all the way to the earth. If it's uncomfortable, it feels tight, feel free to bring some blocks underneath the knees or some pillows. So we're going to start right foot out in front. We're going to activate the right foot. And we're going to pick it up with both hands. Sitting up nice and tall. Maybe this is as far as you feel like going, or maybe you feel like maybe making some lines up and down with your foot. All right. So we're going to come into a leg cradle here. So in our leg cradle, right foot's active, left hand comes to that right foot. Maybe the arm comes around the leg. Sit up nice and tall, maybe even bringing that foot up a little bit higher. If it's in your body, maybe that foot comes to the inside of the left elbow. Right foot stays active. Okay, right foot is active, very gently dropping that right foot back down to the earth. And as we go through this, if it's starts to become too much for your hips, feel free to just come into cross-legged pose and then a surrender pose, which is folding forward here, okay? So we'll still work on this right side here. Right foot is active. We're gonna come into like a telephone. So right hand comes to the pinky toe edge of the right foot. And you're gonna pick up the foot, send the knee back. Maybe the foot comes near the ear. I can't get my foot near the ear. So we do this for kids yoga. We go, hello, anybody there? Send the knee back. Foot comes up. All right, gently release that foot down towards the earth. Now we're gonna switch over to the other side. So left foot forward. Again, if you need to, it can be surrender pose here if all of this is not feeling good in your body. Otherwise, let's activate the left foot, grab a hold of the foot and make those lines up and down. So just a little movement here for the hip. A little bit of fluid moving through the hip. Okay, and then we're gonna cradle the baby. Right hand to right foot, toes are curled back, left hand comes around the leg, sit up nice and tall, find your sits bones. Maybe you bring up the foot a little higher so the shin is parallel to the ceiling. Maybe you place the foot in the inside of the right elbow. Try to sit up tall as much as you can. Right foot is active, very gently releasing that foot to the earth. We're going to find our telephone, activating the left foot, grabbing a hold of the pinky toe edge of the foot, picking the foot up, knee comes back, foot comes up. It's not in my body. Not every pose is in everybody's body, right? I can't bring it back. It's like it's stuck. Sitting up tall. Very slowly, gently, bringing that left foot down towards the earth. All right, we are going to come back onto our knees, last pose here. So a camel pose, again, if you wish, placing a blanket underneath your knees. So we're going to come up onto the knees, toes curl under, a little bit of stretch here for the feet. So you're only going to go as far as you feel comfortable. So let's start with shoulders roll back and down the spine, hands come to the low back, fingers pointing down. Squeeze the inner thighs. This is going to give you a little bit of a tuck of the tailbone and help protect that low back. Okay, so keep the squeeze and then slowly opening so that the heart goes up towards the sky. So we're not bending from the low back, just the upper back. We want to send the hips forward. Perhaps you stay here, or maybe you start to make your way down. So right hand comes towards the right leg somewhere. Send the hips forward. Maybe left hand comes towards the left leg somewhere. So notice what feels good for you in your neck. Try not to drop your neck all the way back. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Okay, squeeze to slowly come back up. Beautiful. Come into tabletop. Find some cat-cow, C shape. All right, and then making your way onto your back body. from the back body, let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe you rock from side to side. And then notice if there's anything else in your body that you need before we come into Shavasana. So maybe it's a twist. Maybe it's a bridge. Maybe it's just settling here on the earth. And then whenever you're ready, there's no rush. Finding your way into Shavasana or any final resting pose lying on the earth. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Then I invite you to kind of just think about our practice today. Notice if maybe you were anxious to move faster or slower. Or you may be pushing too much or not pushing enough. And just, it's up to you to decide if that was the right attitude to have for that moment. There's no judgment. And then see if you can completely let go. Let go of thoughts. Let go of tension. Relaxing your shoulders. Softening your lips, your jaw, your tongue. Softening your eyes and your forehead. Taking deep inhales in through your nose. And maybe if you need to, sigh it out a couple of times. Connecting to the earth beneath you. Connecting to those of us in our virtual space here in class. And see if you can finish class in this sweet feeling of relaxation, connection, and union. Almost as if this is a place to reset. And then be able to move into the world more relaxed, connected, and united. Let how you move into the next few moments dictate how you move into the rest of your day. And maybe even to the next day and the day after that. Treat everyone you meet and yourself with loving kindness. Gently bringing your awareness back. Making small movements in your body. In your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way to seated, and once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. May your day be filled with peace, love, gratitude, and kindness. Thank you for joining me this evening.